Tell me your first name.
Jesse.
What?
Jesse.
Jesse?
Yeah.
And where are you from, Jesse?
Mobile,
We won't hold that against you.
Alabama.
How did you get to Denham Springs?
Happenstance. It just kind of happened. Wasn't planned.
Yeah. What have you been using besides people?
You know.
Don't you know that shit'll kill you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That didn't stop
I
you.
didn't care.
Oh, you care. Otherwise you wouldn't be in here.
Not at the time, right, right.
Yeah.
Like I knew what it could do. I just still did it.
Well, I know, that's because you didn't have a choice. You ever been to treatment?
I went about 4 years.
That's yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. How many times? Where?
Florida.
Okay, what was the name of the place?
12 Oaks.
Did you finish it?
Yes.
What did they tell you to do?
Nothing.
They said after how long?
A month.
You got out and said, hey, just fucking go do nothing.
Yeah, they stay busy.
Did they say go to meetings?
No, I didn't even have to do the steps. Like it was an odd. It didn't work. That place was not.
I don't need your help. I got this. Been doing this a long time. I got it.
There was no like structure. Like it was. It.
So why are you here? When something happened for you to get here, what happened?
I've had a baby. December I gave birth. And
Kept using?
Yep.
That's what I just said. You don't have a choice. The way you sit right now, you don't have a choice whether you're going to use or not. You're going to use. Nothing like a baby or anything like that. Consequences won't make you stop completely.
right.
Yeah. They'll slow you down.
Yep.
But they won't make you stop completely. Do you want some help?
Yep.
Do you?
Yep.
You struck the mother lode in. You want some help. How you doing the fentanyl?
I mean,
Shooting it? Where did you go to medical school?
I did not.
Why are you giving yourself shots in?
Right. I know.
Huh?
Been.
Well, I know
And
that.
letting all kind of random strangers do it to me too. Like that's ridiculous. Like for real.
Well, it's sort of what they say is called insane.
Yeah.
What's your first name?
Danielle.
Say it one more time.
Danielle.
Danielle, where are you from?
Yeah.
Okay. What you using?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl, meth, and heroin. Together? Different times?
Yeah.
Why? Huh?
I don't know nothing about it.
Use IV in it? Snorting it? Who introduced you to it? What friend? Or love of your life? Who introduced you to it?
Okay.
Okay, you might want to change friends. You ever been to treatment? Why are you here? What happened? Something happened. What happened? Legals? Go to sleep. So you said you wanted some help?
Yeah.
Who'd you tell that to? Okay. You got you some help?
Yeah.
Okay. If you really, really, really want some help, you could have picked a better place. And I don't say that because I work here. I say that because it's true. Want some help? We'll find out in a minute. First name, young lady.
Donna,
Donna, where are you from?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Jesus Christ. How long you been down here?
Since June.
Got one summer of the heat. Hot. How'd you get down here? I mean, what led you down here?
My grandchildren,
That's a good reason. What you use?
alcohol.
Liquid? Drinking?
Yeah.
Like a fish? Like a battleship?
Every time I didn't have to be responsible for somebody else or something else.
Well, hell, all we gotta do is put you in charge of somebody the rest of your life.
Right.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
I would be.
Now, they wouldn't be, but fucking you would be. You ever been to treatment? How'd you get here? Look, when I ask people something happened, when somebody says I want to go to treatment. We just gotta figure out what really happened. What happened?
Because I drank 3.5 pints of Fireball and
Okay?
I like that.
And you acted sort of not too good around your family?
No, I was out driving about and I called a friend and told her I was messed up and that I needed help.
Okay. You were driving around? How long you been drinking?
Sober.
You were drinking before that? Never?
18 years I was sober.
Okay. And sober? How?
Alcohol,
How did you get sober?
willpower,
Okay.
church.
Okay. Pick back up after all that time? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I'm pissed off.
Well, hell, better be pissed off than pissed on. What you pissed off about? Just one thing. I know there's like fucking about this many, but just give me one. One major thing today.
Okay, so my best friend took off with my husband.
Okay.
We sold all of our business.
Okay. That's something to get pissed off about.
So now now he's saved and in church and they got this perfect life. She don't have to work. And so she's got the better half of him. And I had the whole fucking 19 years of bullshit.
Well, you ought to be doing a dance then.
Yeah, with my best.
If it was that bad, you ought to be glad to get rid of it.
Well, it's not him no more. Like, this is God now. It's father, grandfather, husband.
There's no such a thing, but okay.
Well, according to everybody, he's doing real good, Mom.
Okay.
And he ever was, Mom.
Well, then, got to get you going in that direction. Do you want to go in that direction? Don't want to get good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But I want you to listen to me. If you get nothing else out of today, I want you to listen to this. You got to do this for you. Not for him or them or you. Do you want to do it for you? Well, then it won't work. Yeah, I'm not a lockdown facility. I mean, I think you're making a tragic blunder. Really, I did. I think what you probably ought to do is just stay through this little thing here, and after this, we talk a little bit. If you still want to go, then you gotta do what you gotta do. I think if you have any kind of family that cares about you, you'd be making a tragic blunder. Well, today. The new day. Agree with that? So you're an Eagles fan? No, me either. You gotta watch it to be a fan.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of any football,
Okay.
balls.
Me too.
You have to, you have to live with. I don't have any that I have to
Yeah,
live
well.
with.
What's your first name?
Jennifer,
Jennifer, where are you from?
Denham Street.
Well, you don't have far to go. What are you using?
Heroin, fentanyl, meth.
How?
I mix them together and shoot it.
Why? Don't one get your way up? Huh? Don't one get your way up?
Yes,
And one get your way down?
yes,
Why are you mixing them then?
because it
You
just
like just get you right there?
right there, and I get this big
You
smile on my
know,
face.
you know what else will get you? You know what else will get you right there?
Being sober.
Yeah, fucking nothing. Nothing.
It's just I haven't experienced that
Oh. If you put just as much work in this as you did in a needle, you can experience it.
yet. Right. I've been to 15 treatments. That wasn't.
I believe you. That's about the fucking only thing I believe you just said. That you've been to that many. But my question would be why?
Because I want to be sober. I don't know if I ever really wanted to be sober.
Then why would you go to a treatment center then?
Make everybody.
15 fucking times?
Okay, well, maybe I wanted it sometimes, but I never worked the stuff and never put any effort into it. I always thought that I could just leave and everything would be different.
Philadelphia. You listening to that? She can leave and everything will be fine. 15 fucking times.
But I mean, I keep trying at least.
No, you don't.
Okay, no.
No, you don't.
You're right.
Why, look, every treatment center that you've been to, every legitimate treatment center, they tell you the same thing, which is go to meetings, get a sponsor, and do the damn steps. Something you ain't willing to do.
I am now.
Well, that's what you say.
No, that I really
Well, I
am.
know, but that's what you say.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Let me ask you this. Let's say you were sitting here. And I was sitting where you sit. And I told you, I said, hey, you know, I've been in treatment 15 times, but this time I mean business. And I want you to bet your house on it, I'm gonna do it.
No.
Okay. So what I hear is this, blah, 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 diggity, blah. That's what I hear. And you have to sort of understand that people who've been around you, that's what they hear. Yeah. Because you keep crying wolf.
That's why my mom's like, I talked to her on the phone and she's like, just being short and mean because she don't believe that.
That's what I just said.
Right.
So why are you repeating what I just said? Has anybody ever told you you give an aspirin a headache? Huh?
In some sort of way.
Do you want some help?
I do.
Tell me some of the places you've been.
Oh, I've been to Red River. I've
Keep
been
going.
to Woodlake.
Which one?
All of
Every one we got, you've been to.
them.
Okay, name them then.
Ethel. Well, okay, well, I've been to the one in Ethel and I've been to the one in a
Okay,
few times.
and then this one. So you hadn't been to all of them.
There's another one there.
But if you've been to one, and you actually listen, it's just like all of them.
Right.
Where else? Give me a few other places.
I've been.
Quit doing that.
Okay.
That's not a bad thing. Do you want some help?
Yes, sir.
Do you really?
Yes, sir.
When did you get here? You've been here a little bit? How long have you been here?
About 2 weeks.
And you? How long? So, do you have a family?
Yes.
What do you have? Tell me what you got.
Karen. Baby.
Babies or baby? Huh?
One baby,
Boy or girl?
boy,
How old is he now?
3 months.
Okay, where is he?
The grandmother,
Your grandmother?
no, his grandmother, the baby's father's mother,
Which is where?
Baton Rouge.
Where's the father?
There also.
Where the little baby boy is?
Yeah.
Does he use?
Well, I'm suspect that he started to, but when.
But you don't know?
Correct.
Okay. All right. What else do you have besides the son?
My
Parents?
parents,
What else?
brothers, aunts, uncles, I mean,
Okay, that's a family?
yeah,
How old is your brother is older or younger?
a year older than me.
Are you the baby?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine that. Anything else? What you got?
I have 5 children,
Start with the oldest and go to the youngest.
13, 8, 6, 3, 5.
Boys or girls?
3 boys, 2 girls.
Okay, and where are they? All 5 of them?
4 of them in my last middle grandma.
On your side or his side? 4 of them are with your mother. Thank goodness for mothers, huh?
Right.
What else do you have? You have any siblings?
Yeah.
How many?
6.
Where are you in the pecking order?
I'm a twin, so we like
The oldest, the youngest, the middle?
we like my twin. We like 3 minutes apart. But
Okay.
I have 3 brothers.
You mean there's another one like you walking around? Wow. I ain't worried about them. Look, I don't care. Look up here. So, siblings, kids, what about parents?
My mother and my dad passed away.
Grandparents,
Yeah.
right? What do you have?
Sister 6 older, the brother 5 years older. Daughter 37, son 30,
Okay,
2 grandchildren.
and the 2 grandchildren are from the son,
He lives here.
and they're all here. Divorced, legally divorced, okay? So, the daughter, where does she live?
Boston.
And the son lives here. Okay. What do you have?
I have 3 kids, 6, 5, and 1.
Boys or girls?
1 boy and 2 girls.
Keep going.
I have my mom and my dad. I have one uncle, cousin. I have 2 sisters. One's 40, I'm 35, and then the younger sister's 28.
So the family that you told me about, okay? Do you love them?
Apparently not.
Well, it's yes or no?
Yes, but my actions don't show.
Well, I know that, but let me ask you.
But yes, I love them.
Well,
Yes,
I know that's what you say.
yes,
What about you?
yes, I love them.
Okay, you? You?
My kids.
That's what you say out your mouth, if you love them. Huh? What do your actions say?
And I don't.
Okay? What's your mouth say? Your actions? Okay. Now, I'm a little slow, as you can tell. But that right there, what you just said, is more of a reason to stay here than anything else. What's your mouth say? Your actions? Where are you from? Yeah. in Kenner, when somebody says one thing out their mouth and they turn around and do the complete opposite, what they call that in Kenner? You know what we call it where I come from in North Baton Rouge? Full of shit. And that's what you are. You're 100% bona fide, full of shit. And the crazy part is you know, don't you? Are you a true believer in God?
Thank you.
Yeah, I really don't believe you even believe that, but okay.
I don't want to. I was raised,
Well, I didn't ask you none of that.
well, you essentially did. I mean,
No, I didn't.
am I a true believer?
No, I didn't ask you none of that. I know what I asked.
Okay, let's do it again.
Well, you would have to listen
I'm listening. Ask me
and
again.
quit trying to come back with an answer that you think is like the right answer.
I definitely don't think that's the right answer.
If you would just answer what I asked you, then
Okay,
you would know what I asked.
okay, ask me again. I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you would have to disengage this and engage these. Are you a true believer in God? Yes or no?
No, I'm not.
See how easy that is? When you actually listen to what somebody asks you. Are you? Are you?
Yes.
Are you? It's yes or no.
Yes.
Now, out your mouth, you say yes, right? What do your actions say? Got it. Now, up in Philadelphia, when somebody says one thing out their mouth and they turn around and do the complete opposite, what y'all call
Fucking lie.
it? See, and who you lie to the most is yourself. Do you really have any idea why you sit where you sit?
Boy,
Fuck, I am too, and I ain't sitting in here as a patient.
well, you were once upon a time, probably.
What, a patient? Yeah, well, yeah. But that's not why I ended up in here, because I was an alcoholic. I ended up in here because I was one of the most selfish, self-centered, inconsiderate, dishonest people around. The same reason you're in here. But you don't believe that, do you? I know you don't. You think it's Fireball. And I'm telling you it's not. Are you dishonest with yourself?
I think I am.
I know you don't. Most people who are dishonest with themselves don't think they are. But the one that you lie to the most is yourself. Now, are you inconsiderate towards your family? Okay? Are you being a little selfish and all of that? Okay? And when all that bottles up on you, this is what you do. Right or wrong? And we never met, have we? Now I'm explaining you to a T, huh? I've had a lot of people tell me that. Some before I came in here and some during it while I'm here. Yeah, I've had a lot of people say that,
Being honest.
as you can be. Right. Now, do you want some help? Okay. Well, we're going to help you, but just not your way. Because it's obvious. You ever heard of Stevie Wonder? Stevie Wonder could see your way don't work. But you can't see it. if you could eliminate one thing out of your life, okay? When you get jammed up, get backed in a corner by your family, by yourself, up here, you have to think it's something. Do you think it's the fireball, the drinking? Do you think that's what it is?
Do I have to eliminate that?
No. Whenever you get jammed up, right? Family, with who, whatever it is. What's the one thing that comes to your mind that you need to stop doing? Thinking or drinking?
Thinking.
Okay. If that's a true statement, okay? You said it, I did. You gotta let somebody else start thinking for you right now. And that would be.
No.
Yes.
You're not my counselor, are you?
I can be.
I hope not.
Well, at least we agree on something. I hope not too. And you know why a lot of people like yourself don't care for me? Yeah, that's exactly right. And alcoholics can't stand the truth. And that's what's going to actually set you free from the lie you live in. If you in here, you live in a lie. Every time you get jammed up by family, finances, work, legals, there's one thing that comes to your mind that you have to quit doing. What is it? What do you keep telling yourself? I gotta quit what?
You keep telling myself I gotta quit using it.
Yes.
Right,
Because that's what you think it is,
right.
right?
I mean, that's not what I think it is. It's definitely.
But look, that's what you keep telling yourself. Every time you get jammed up, you don't say, "What the fuck is me?
Right.
I gotta quit being me." You don't say that. You say, "I gotta quit using," because that's what you think it is. And what do you keep doing? You fucking use it. Now, how many of y'all? Well, look, I want you to, hey, Philadelphia, put that down. I want you to listen, okay? I want you to listen. How many of y'all in here, every time you get jammed up, the one thing that comes to your mind that you gotta quit doing is the using part. That's what you think it is. And you put all your eggs in one basket. I gotta quit using. I gotta quit using. I gotta quit using. And what the hell do you keep doing? They ain't nothing on you. Hey, stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Now, how many of y'all in here, every time you quit using, you wind up with a bigger explosion than ever? You quit for how long? And when you started back, it was bigger explosion than ever. And I'm telling you, any jackass in the world can quit using. That's the easy part. I'll prove it to you. Did you use today?
No, sir.
See? That is the easy part. Anybody in this world can quit using. Now, do you want to stay stopped? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Because look, I'm telling you, if you don't, you can kiss all those things, daughter, son, grandkids, bye. Bye. And we both know what that's going to make for. More drinking. Now, how many of y'all in here, if somebody told you it's not to use it, it's you. It's you. It's always been you. Now, do you want to work on you? Do you? Do you? What about you? What'd I just say? Yeah, what'd I just say? Yeah, do you? Do you? Because I'm telling you, if you keep focusing on the using part, this won't work. Has anybody ever told you or you ever heard of the 12 steps? Huh? That's them right there. What you think they for?
Live by,
Huh?
a guide to live by.
Do you read okay?
Yeah.
Can you see step 12?
Yeah.
Read it to the first comma.
Having had spiritual awakening as a result of the steps. These steps.
These steps. Now, I want you to read it backwards. Say these steps,
Steps,
the result
the
of
result.
spiritual awakening. So if you took the steps, guess what the result would be? Yeah. And then guess what you would never want to do again? Yeah, what? What?
I need to look at it now.
You can in a minute. Now, how many of y'all in this room have been to treatment over and over and over? How many of y'all, this is your first time in treatment? Wake up. Wake up. How many of y'all, this is your first time in treatment? Now, how many of y'all keep using these steps to stay sober? How many times you been to treatment? Yeah. Now, every time you come to treatment, you walk around and tell everybody how long you've been sober. Because that's the only thing you concentrate on. Yeah. Now, I'm telling you, if you use the steps, she's okay. She's okay. Take care of her. If you keep using the steps to stay sober, you're gonna keep getting loaded. Because they're not designed for that. Who's the community leader? Huh? So, I tell you what, walk her over to the nurse's station, tell them I'll send her over there. Come on, go with her. Okay, back up here. Now, how many of y'all keep coming in these places like this and you use these steps to try to stay sober? And you get loaded every damn time. How many times you been to treatment?
Like 29 times.
Yeah.
A lot.
And you have never tried to change. You had. That's why I told you the other day, if I don't start seeing something, because you just be wasting time again.
Can I tell you something?
No. Now, how many of y'all in here, y'all come in and say, I want help, and you say it so fucking dramatically, like you should win an Academy Award. When somebody really wants some help, you never hear nothing out of them. Nothing. How long you been here? Yeah. I couldn't even tell you her first fucking name. You know why? Because never hear nothing out of her. That's why. Somebody who really, really wants help, you don't hear nothing out of them. And when you ask them or suggest they do something, this is what they say. Okay? Because anything I suggest to you has to be 1,000 times better than what you suggest to you. Y'all open y'all's big books to page 62. Dang, you got a cover on your book.
Yeah, I do.
You look like one of them old timers. Was you going to AA when you were sober? Was you? Where else would you go? That's where you're supposed to go. Now, I want you to read up here the first part of the first step. I want you to stop at that hyphen. Go.
We admit we were powerless over alcohol.
Now, this is a yes or no question. Are you powerless over alcohol? Why? Raise your hand here if you like to drink.
Because once I put it in, I can't stop.
Why?
Because my body craves more and more and more and more.
Okay, now, that's one part of it, okay? That's the physical part. Now, why did you pick up after all that time?
Honestly,
Yeah.
to piss my husband off.
Okay, so you say. So you say. You want me to tell you why you did it?
Oh,
Why?
because I'm selfish
Well, you
and
close.
self-centered.
You close, but look. This son of a bitch came back on you and it overruled everything. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you put the first one back in, that physical part that had been lying dormant all those years, kicked back off again, and it was worse than ever, because in those 18 years, the physical allergy was getting worse. And when you picked up in a matter of months, you were worse off than ever. Right or wrong? So you ain't gotta like me, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Now, if you don't do something again, that thing's gonna ride you, dominate you, and tell you everything. Why? I did it because I don't like my husband. Do you know how idiotic that sounds to a person who doesn't have that? Yeah. And anybody who's got that can't see the truth. They can't differentiate the truth from the false. And to them, their alcoholic life seems the only normal one. Now, you on page 62? The very first paragraph down. I want you to start reading. I want you to read it loud, like when you on Fireball. Woo! I bet you was hell in that car, huh?
Selfishness, self-centeredness. That we think is the most,
It's the root.
that I think.
No, we think.
Well, my book has I in it, but I scribbled all the we.
Yeah, but you did that because that's your book.
Okay, I'll read it like it says.
Well, yeah, that's why they wrote some bitch like that.
That we think is the most of,
Is the root.
that we think is the root of our trouble.
Now, look up here. Have you ever watched golf? Huh? They hit that damn little ball about 400 yards. And they go find it, and they hit some bitch again. I ain't never figured that game out yet. You ever seen a nice putting green? If a weed popped up in it, and you went, snapped it all right at the surface, what do you think would happen in a week? Bigger and stronger. Now, if you went, pulled the root and everything up, would it come back?
I didn't get the whole root it would, but.
Watch it now.
Assuming that I got the.
Watch
whole
it. If you pull the root and everything up, will it come back?
No.
Okay. See, boy, you listen when I talk like that. Now, this time did you snap it off at the surface? You quit drinking, huh? And that shit came back bigger and than ever. See, how many times have you quit? Huh?
9,
Fuck, every time you go to bed at night, you quit.
yeah.
So how many times have you quit? Thousands. Yeah. So all by yourself, you can quit. You don't need any help. Now, every time that you've quit, which has been thousands of times, look up here, Philadelphia. Every time you quit, which has been thousands, what do you eventually do? Sooner or later, you start. Now, we got two facts established. You can quit every time you have in the past, you started, sooner or later. Now, can you quit? Is that fact or fiction? And every time you do, some point in time, you start again. Is that fact or fiction? Now, in between those two facts, you quit and start. What changes with you? Nothing.
Nothing.
We know the using gets worse. Now, right now, are you quit?
Yes.
Are you? Are you? If something don't start changing with you, you're going to start again. You've proven it over and over and over. Now, the shit that needs to change is the shit you don't want to work on.
Right.
You just want to say, I'm sober. And you carry that damn book around like you missed fucking Bill Wilson or something. And that's all you focus on. Now, I'm telling you, if you're sitting in here and you're sober today, if shit don't start changing and continue to change every day, you will eventually start again. Now, it's been over 21 years. I've not put the first one in. I'm not cured. I'm not fixed. What I have is a daily reprieve. And that reprieve is contingent on me and my spiritual condition. Not my bank account, not my relationships, my spiritual condition. Now, what I have not found it necessary to do in over 21 years is start again. Now, again, any jackass in the world can quit. Are you ready to work on the root of what's really going on? And it ain't all that shit you said. It ain't your husband, your ex-husband, his wifey poo. It ain't none of that. You should. And if you make it about them, you trapped. Because those steps won't work on them, but they will work on you. Now, when you come in here, how many of y'all, when y'all first set your rear ends down in these seats, you convinced it's the drugs and the alcohol? You convinced of that. Now, all the time, the energy, the effort that you spent on not using, just think if you would spend it on changing, where you would be today. Think of that. Now, it didn't say Fireball was the root of your troubles, did it? Did it say your ex-husband was? What did it say? No, it didn't say you. It said selfishness, self-centeredness. That we think, and that we is the ones of us who have taken those steps and had an awakening of the spirit. What we know is it's not to use it. It's me. It's always been me. Now, do you want to get your head out your damn rear end again? Because it's stuck. And we got to get it where you can hear that pop. You know which pop I'm talking about? When your head exits your butthole, and instead of seeing the darkness of self, you can start seeing the sunlight of the spirit again. Keep reading. Driven by.
Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate.
Now, it says that you're driven, and boy, are you driven. Now, it didn't say 100 fears. It said 100 forms of fear. Now, do you fear? Tell me your first name again. Donna. Do you fear you're going to lose something you already have? Do you fear you're not going to get what your little selfish ass wants? You? 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 Now, how many of y'all sitting in here fear you're going to lose something you already have? Or you're not going to get what your little selfish ass wants? And the biggest fear that you have is people are going to figure you out for the fake ass person that you really are. Now, when somebody like me is driven by fear and fear alone. What I do is a bunch of self-deluded nonsense. I will do shit I know is absolutely wrong, but I will make myself believe the shit I just did is okay. Hold on. Hey, shut that door. Go shut that door and latch it. Now, look up here. How many of y'all, when this fear has you, you start to get very, very self-deluded about the truth? And you start doing a bunch of inconsiderate, selfish, dishonest nonsense. And the reason you're doing that, you're trying to satisfy one thing. It's called self. You're a self-seeking person. You don't care about nobody but you damn.
So,
But you say out your mouth, I love my family. I'm a true believer in God. And you say all that nonsense, and people look at you like, fucking really? Now, when you're driven by fear, self-delusion, and self-seeking, do you screw up a bunch of shit? And then the last one kicks in. It's called self-pity. That's when your bottom lip pokes out that body and Philly can ride home on it. Fine. Now, I want you to read what it says you do. You're driven by fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. Read it.
Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate.
Now, have you been stepping on people's toes?
Yeah.
Whose? Whose have you been stepping on the most? Same ones you say out your mouth. Yeah, so dearly, with all my heart. Now, I would hate to see if you hated them, what you would do to them, since you love them so much. What would you do if her ass treated your son and daughter-in-law like you've been treating them? What would you do to her? Well, no, I want you to.
I would kick her ass.
Okay, you would try.
From here out of heaven.
You would try.
No, I would.
No, you would try. The jury would be out. You'd have to see. But
Try.
But you wouldn't stand for it, would you? If she did it, you wouldn't stand for it. But when you do it, you justify, you rationalize, and you make yourself believe some errant damn nonsense. And they're looking at you like, what are you doing? And you blame it on everybody except, yeah. Now, I'm talking to you, but that applies to everybody in here. Have we said anything about Fireball yet? We're not. Now, you still want to leave? I didn't think so. How many of y'all in here, when we go over this stuff over and over, how many of y'all are actually listening to what we're saying in here? I know you are. Yeah. Because when you were sitting over there, you were convinced it was the damn alcohol. Now, I'm sort of would bet my house right now that you're completely over that lie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See, how many of y'all keep coming in these damn places and the only thing you focus on is the using part. And I'm a pretty good old gal if I'm not using, which is another lie. Keep reading. We step on the toes of our fellows and they
Retaliate.
Now, how many of y'all, people are retaliating on you left and right? And you say, I don't know why they're doing that to me. I didn't do anything. And you believe that bullshit. I'm telling you, people don't come up to you unprovoked for no reason and hurt you. You do something to set the ball rolling. And when you get the ball rolling and shit hits the fan, all you can see is what they did. You can't see what you did. And you walk around like this, blinders on. selfish, self-centered to the core. Keep reading.
Sometimes they hurt us, seemingly without provocation.
Now, when your head is up in your rear end, you seemingly think people are doing it unprovoked. If you ever start seeing the truth, what you will see is nobody has ever came up to you unprovoked for no reason and hurt you. You did something to set the ball rolling. Now, how many of y'all, when the ball's rolling, you can see what they did very clearly? It's like you got these set of new glasses on. But when it's time for you to look at yourself, you take those new glasses off and you can't see shit. If you keep making it about everybody else, I'm telling you, you'll have no choice but to use whatever you're using. Because you're going to be one of the most miserable, irritable, restless, discontented people on the face of this earth. Keep reading.
But we invariably find at some time in the past, we've made decision based on self,
On what?
on self,
You sure it says self and not fireball?
on fireball,
Yeah.
which later placed us in the position to be.
Now, if you keep believing that, the fireball, you'll keep ending up sitting in places like this. And it might not be me, but it'd be somebody else you don't like, because they'll be trying to tell you the truth too. Now, how many of y'all, you seemingly think people are hurting you unprovoked? Well, what the book says is we invariably find. What that invariably means is when my head exits my rear end, I start to see things completely different. And I start to see I'm keep making decisions based on self. Now, that family you told me you love, right? If you really loved them like you say you did, every decision you make would be based on what's best for them and not me. Now, did you make the decision to go off the deep end based on what was best for your son and daughter-in-law and grandchild, or what you wanted? Yeah. What about you? When it comes time for you to make decisions, do you think about that little baby boy?
No.
Or you think about yourself? Now, let's say you walk out of here and you're sober. That's it. Nothing else has changed. You're still an inconsiderate, selfish, self-centered, dishonest person. You will walk out of here sober, and you will continue to make decisions based on self. You're going to continue to put yourself in positions to be hurt, and in early recovery, rapid succession, bam, 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 bam. You'll have no choice but to use again. You won't have any choice. Coming in here and being sober, it's great. That's what you're supposed to do. But how many of y'all can come in here and don't raise your hand because we believe nothing you said? Have come in here and you're really changing. And if you got to tell people you're changing, you're not changing. Those people who've been around you will be able to see it long before you. Now, the name of the game, it's change. And alcoholics hate two things worse than anything. They hate giving up the booze and the dope, and they hate change. And I'm telling you, if you don't give those two up, those are the two things that are going to kill you. And self is going to get you before the dope. Keep reading. Damn book sucks, don't it? Oh, don't say okay.
I'm trying to figure out where I stopped. So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making.
The hell you say? Read that again.
So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making.
Now, how many of y'all keep blaming? Blaming, 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 blaming. It's never you. It's always something or somebody else. Now, people like me come into this program. I gotta get the word blame out of my damn vocabulary. I gotta quit blaming people. If I'm happy, it's my fault. If I'm depressed and sad, it's my fault. Quit blaming people for how you feel or don't feel. You feel bad, that's your fault. If you're happy, that's your fault. And it takes just as much energy and effort to be happy as it does to be sad. Now, how many of y'all keep being the victim? And it takes just as much effort to be the victor as it does the victim. Now, all that energy and effort you spent to be what? The victim. Poor me. Poor me. Poor me into the fireball. And you could have took the same energy, the same effort, and been the victim. And people would have looked at you better than they look at him. You chose to do that. You did that. Right or wrong? Fine.
I did everything right for a while.
Well, Charles Manson did too. So what'd that guy do with anything? Doing shit right is a day in and day out thing. And I don't do things wrong because of what somebody else did. And I don't do things right because of somebody else. I do things right because that's what I want to do. And I do things wrong because that's what I want to do. Keep reading.
They arise out of ourselves. And the alcoholic is the extreme example of self-will run wild.
Though she usually doesn't think so.
Though he usually doesn't think so.
That's what I just said. Now, how many of y'all reading this morning? We're breaking it down. We're talking about it. And how many of y'all go, golly, I hate this fucking book? How many of y'all are starting to see something? Look, for you just to start to see it is tremendous change for you. Seeing it, doing something about it, that's what sort of separates the girls from the women in this program. Because I'm going to promise you one thing. You will not finish this program and not see it. And if you don't do anything about it, that would be your fault. And if you do something about it, that would still be your fault. Because I've had just as many people leave here and change their life around who leave here and do absolutely nothing. Now, which one are you going to be? And that's what you got to figure out. Because look, I'm telling you, when you're out there in the real world and life's hitting you between the eyes, if you don't have a good program to fall back on, you're gonna get loaded again. Because life doesn't stop because I'm in AA. Life doesn't stop because I'm trying to do the right thing. Life's going to keep coming 90 miles an hour. Now, how many of y'all have been here a week or two or three? Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. How long have you been here? You're fixing to be leaving, aren't you? Okay, where are you going? Well, where the hell is that? Okay, now, since you've been here, every day since you walked in the front door, have you given it everything you got? Everything. You hadn't wasted a day, a minute, a second. Well, you're, huh? Only you know. I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you nothing about no damn assignment.
I feel I have.
Okay, you're the only one that knows. I don't know. You didn't. But if you've given it everything you got, you're well on your way. Now, how many of y'all have come in here and wasted? a couple of 2 or 3 days a week. And you finally come to and you go, oh, hey, shit, let me try this. And a week's done went by. The next week goes by and you look up and you go, oh fuck. I ain't got but 2 weeks left. Because look, I'm telling you, when you first come in here, 28 days seems like 16 years. And the first week's gonna drag, but when you get to the end of that second week, it's like that. And most of y'all come in here and waste a whole damn week or so. Now, when somebody leaves here, okay, if you do what we say, okay, if you continue to go to meetings, if you continue to work with a damn sponsor, and you follow up with steps 10, 11, and 12, you'll never come back in here. Now, how many times have you been to us? Yeah, you just, out of the 3, the only thing you really do is go to meetings. Meetings.
I mean, I've done a little bit more than that, but I did it my way.
Okay, so is there anything what I just said that wasn't true?
No,
Okay, so why'd you tell me all that?
I don't know. 'Cause you just always say I just go to meetings, but that's not just what I did.
But wait a minute now. What you said a lot. You said I do a little bit more, right?
Right.
But I do it.
My way.
Well, that's not that way.
I know that.
So you just go to.
I don't agree with that.
I know you don't. That's why you keep coming in here and I keep going home. You said it. Show me in that book where it says do it my way.
It doesn't.
I know. It don't say stop, shit, fart. It don't say none of that. It says continue. You don't do that.
No, I don't.
What I said.
No.
Okay? Now, when you get your 4-step papers this time, put me on your fucking resentment
will.
sheet. Because you're mad as hell right now. Huh?
I am.
I know. And you know why? You want to think you're mad at me, but you know who you're really mad at?
Myself.
I know.
I can admit that.
Yeah, I had to make you.
No, you didn't. I mean, I said it. Like, I know it's me. Like, I tell them all the time. Like, I know it's me. Like, I always think about when you say that time when you had your aha moment. I had that in education with you last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only you know that.
Right.
But we're not talking about this time.
Right.
We're talking about the previous time. And the reason we're talking about the previous time, so you don't do the same shit this time.
Right.
And if that pisses you off and it makes you not do the same thing, I'd rather you be pissed off. How many times you been to treatment with me? Who else? See, y'all keep coming in these places and y'all want to do it
All right.
your way. And I'm telling you, it never worked. I want y'all to turn y'all's big book to page 45.
That's understood you. It's my first time.
Do you read okay?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
You just can't read them prescription Bibles?
Yeah.
I say take one. How you read them? Look, take 4 every 20 minutes and mix with fentanyl, heroin, and meth. Is that how you read them?
Yep.
We don't want you reading them. I tell you what, you start reading.
See?
Yeah.
Lack of power, that was our dilemma.
Now, what did it say was your dilemma? It didn't say lack of a boyfriend or a husband or a bank account. It didn't say none of that. It says lack of power. That was our dilemma. Now, if you're lacking power, that means you must be powerless. Now, if you're looking at these two things, powerless and power, if you're powerless, you're lacking power. And you're facing a dilemma right here. Look, how many of y'all, if y'all could have went like this, look, and it kept you from coming here and everything would have been great, you'd have went like that. Because you really don't want this. But you really don't want what you've been getting. So what you're facing is a dilemma. Now, if you could do this, I would say do it, but you can't. So the way you do this is by doing that. Now, both of these choices you got, you do not like either one. So what you're facing is a damn dilemma. And a dilemma means you have two unpopular choices and you don't like either one. Now, how many of y'all sitting in this room right now know, don't believe this shit, you know where the using part's going to get you? You don't believe it, you know it. How do you know? How you know? Yeah, how you know? The fuck I did.
I know.
You taught that shit to yourself. Look, how many of y'all know what the using part's going to get you?
I know.
Because you did that. You've been there. Now, do you have a clue what this will get you? No, because you've never done it like the book says. Now, put right. Put right. Look up here. You got 28 days to write. Look up here. Now, being powerless, I know. Look, I know. But just listen. Look up here. Look up here. I know the way I've been living, what it gets me. I know, been there, done that. But I don't really know about this program. I know and I don't know. I know and I don't know. Now, I know I don't want no more of that shit. So it leaves me one damn choice in this dilemma. Now, if you could snap your fingers and not have to put up with me, you would snap both of them, huh? Now, you can't do that. So what you got to do, the way you snap your fingers is by doing what the book says. Now, when you were drinking, how long this time? Did you do some shit you really didn't want to do? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, guess what you got to do in here? Some shit you don't want to do, like listen to me. But if you go back and use, or you do this, you're fixing to do some shit you don't want to do. Now, I promise you the results of listening to me, which you don't want to do, are far better than the fireball results. Oh, I fucking do. Well, let me ask you this. Give me some of the results from the fireball. Well, if they were that great, you'd want to talk about it.
That's pretty damn good sex.
With the fireball?
Fireball helping.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we can really stop right there. Yeah, that's a little too much information for me.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
But besides that result, let's talk about real results. I know that. And you've had a little taste of what that book will do. And I'm trying to give you a big taste of what it will do, which will blow your doors off. But you sit there and don't want to listen. Or you act like it anyway. Keep reading.
We had to find a power by which we could live, and it had to be a power greater than ourselves,
Obviously. Yeah.
obviously. But where and how were we to find this power?
Now, they got a question mark. So they're going to tell you where and how. Go.
Well, that's exactly what this book is about.
Son of a bitch.
Its main object is to enable you to find a power greater than yourself, which will solve your problem.
Now, it didn't say what problem. Did it? It just said your problem. Now, the problem at hand right now is the using part. But I'm telling you, this program any problem I've ran into, when I really put this program into action, it solved them all. Now, I want y'all to turn y'all's books to page 55, and we're gonna get out of here after this. Thank God. Dealing with y'all drive me to smoking crack again.
No, we won't.
Now, I want you to read this time. The first paragraph down where it says actually. Go.
Actually, we were fooling ourselves.
Imagine that.
For deep down in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God.
Where? Where is it?
Every man. woman,
No.
and child.
It says deep down. Now, where's one place you've never looked? That's the question.
Deep down.
Because every time you start looking and get a glimpse of who and what you really are, you go, oh, fuck that. Now, when you get ready to do something wrong, which is quite often, do you hear a little voice say, hey, dumbass, don't do that? Okay, if you got ready to rob a bank and they had 5 police cars in the parking lot, would you hear a little voice say, hey, don't rob that bank?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So when you get ready to do something wrong, and you know it's wrong, do you hear a little voice say, hey, don't do that?
Yeah.
Okay, now, if it's something that you really, really, really want to do, then you block that voice out and do what?
What I want to do.
What you want to do.
Right.
Now, when you do what you want to do, knowing it's wrong, you usually face consequences. And when the consequences start hitting, does that voice come back a little louder a second time and it says, I told you not to do that?
Yeah.
Now, what do you call that voice?
Inner self, like,
Okay, your conscience.
yeah.
Okay, I'll prove to you it's not.
Okay.
I'll prove it to you. The first time you hear that voice say, hey, don't do that, has it always been right?
Yeah.
So we know there's no fucking way that could be your conscience. Because it's always right. And there's only one entity in this universe that's always right. That's the fundamental idea of God. Now, when you block it out and do what you want, that's your fucking conscience. That's why you sitting in here. See, I've been doing this a long time, and very, very, very few people are real atheists. Because what proves to me you're not is you hear that voice. That tells you right from wrong, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's God.
I know you don't.
Right. But that's
Nobody
what
asked you what the fuck you think, but nobody asked you what you think.
I know.
I'm telling you, that's it. Let's just say,
Yeah.
let's just say it's not it. Let's just say it's not. If you would listen to it every time, would your life be better?
Yeah.
Okay, well, call him motherfucker Pete then.
I'm good with that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, call it Pete.
Yeah.
Just listen to it. And the only way you'll listen to it is if we can get self out the way.
Yeah.
And that's what the steps do.
The God thing is gonna be hard for me.
If you make it that way.
Yeah.
But your way's fucking hard.
Right.
Just take, look, watch this shit. Watch. Take this word right here and just get it out of your vocabulary. Just don't even say it no more. We'll put you another O right here. And just do, just do the next thing right. And I guarantee your life will take on a meaning you never dreamed possible.
Yeah.
And I don't think God cares if you call it God. As long as you keep fucking his other children over. Damn. Comments?
Yes,
Thank you.
I respect
Well, thank you. Now, if I could get your twin sister over there to respect me, we'd be all right.
That's the truth.
Hey, look, seriously,
Yeah.
how many of y'all sitting in here are at least thinking about shit differently? You're looking at shit differently. Look, an hour ago, you wanted to leave. And if I'd have let you get up, you'd probably be gone. Yeah. Now, I want you just to play it out, okay? Where would you be?
Waiting for an Uber probably across the street.
Well, I think by this time, you probably would have had some Fireball. But just play it out. What would your son say? Would he be let down? Would he be disappointed? His wife would say, hey, I know it's your mama, but I don't want her around. Around what?
Here,
Yeah. What would that do to your son? Yeah. But it's all about you, huh? I want to leave. I want to do. You don't think about those people, do you? So when I'm not around here and that thought starts going like this about leaving, think about somebody besides yourself. Y'all get ready for lunch.
Thank you.
Somebody drop their